Good morning. How are you? So glad to see all you people. Yeah, I'm in glasses today. That is so not normal for me. I wear glasses normally just to get up and see something in bed, but I have to have cataract surgery. I'm kind of excited about it though because I'm getting bionic eyeballs and never wear glasses again. So I can't wear my contacts for 2 weeks. Anyway, so glad you're here. I put a little chat in the comments. I know somebody is in some vacation spot because it's that time of year that's going to make me super jealous. We were at the beach last week with all the kids, all the grandkids, and we had a blast. Ate too much seafood, got too much sun, so we're loaded up on vitamin D. We should be in good shape. But I do want to give you a chance because this is going to be special, this training. This is not our start well, finish strong. This is our middle of the month. Yes, it will help with establishing your rhythm, but it's not our start, finish your month rhythm kind of call. This is a special training. Usually they're timeless principles, and this is one of my favorites because it's really the reason Lori and I are in our business today. And it involves really the thing that I love about our business, and that is that we can stop trading hours for dollars and build a business where it's not always our hands on the steering wheel. So go ahead and tag whoever you want to invite. We'll let Facebook's algorithms wake everybody up just for a minute before we dive into our training topic. This is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about addition versus multiplication. And the concept of building a business fast or slow, building a business alone or with a team, leveraging yourself, which our business allows you to do. We're going to dive into that. Kind of deep, a little bit deep. I'm actually going to be doing this at the Buckeye Boot Camp this weekend too. Maybe a little bit modified version of it, but some of the same slides. So is anybody here going to be at the Buckeye Boot Camp in Dayton, Ohio this weekend? Anybody going to be in? There's a Branson Boot Camp this weekend. I believe there's one in Colorado. We have our boot camp in the Blue Ridge Mountains coming up in about 3 weeks, the third week in July, and it's going to be amazing. I think it's sold out, but I think Beth was going to let a few more seats. I think we got like 10 more seats open up or something, and maybe by the end of today or the end of tomorrow, there's going to be a waiting list set up. So Beth may be on here. Or there she is. She just put in BlueRidgeBootCamp.com. She's faster than me. So you might think that's me typing, but that was actually Beth logged in as our page. So Beth Bates, who's been just a partner in life with my family for over 10 years now. I think it's 12. But she's here kind of as my sidekick this morning. So Rhonda, glad you're going to Branson Boot Camp. Awesome. Branson's one of my favorite places. Love going flying into Springfield and driving down there. And the Table Rock Lake is it Table Rock Lake down there? It's beautiful. Anyway, let's dive in. I think everybody's we've woken the algorithms up and trying a little bit of a new technology strategy. I'm on the computer, but you're actually looking at my iPad, so I can just swipe through some things. But this picture gives me an opportunity. I chose this so that I can tell the story. I don't want to tell the whole story, but I want to tell you a little bit about Lori and I. I think it's important because you need to know not our whole story of how we built our business, but I want to talk to you about why we're in this business today. And there are a lot of people on this call, Rhonda Hubbard, Carol Garner, that if Lori and I hadn't said yes over 30 years ago, you all probably wouldn't be here either. It's amazing how many people were impacted by us saying yes 36 years ago, almost 37. And that was us, like, I don't know, maybe 6 months after we got in the business, 3 months. We were at some Juice Plus event and had our picture made. And that was one of the ones that I saved because that would be That's way before everything was digital. That's probably something we saved and got scanned in somehow. And the one on the right is today and it is a this year picture. and obviously was digital to start with. But let's talk about just for a minute the principle we're going to talk about this morning. Let's talk about how that made mine and Lori's decision to do this business. And the topic of the call was multiplication versus addition. And I'm a math brain. My wife says, and a lot of my family, they challenge and question the fact that I can't remember, let's say, a date. Somebody says, we're going to go, or I'm going to a wedding the third weekend in August. And I'm talking to my son, and it's like, well, how come you can't go fishing with me? He said, I told you, don't you remember? We're going to a wedding the third weekend in August. I said, no, I don't remember, but I know every credit card number in my wallet. I know everybody in my family, social security numbers. So my brain remembers numbers. I went to Georgia Tech. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. My kids went to Georgia, but I did get the math infusion of an engineering school and 4 years of calculus. So my brain functions on numbers and math. So multiplication versus addition is my best illustration to explain to you why we're in this business today, because there are lots of ways, even more today since the gig economy was birthed and Uber and all these different ways to make money, that the internet helps, that technology helps. There's so many ways to make money. But how many of those ways, like when Lori was looking to make $1,000 a month in the beginning, back when that picture was taken, we didn't have any kids yet, but we knew as part of our conversations and life planning to make sure we wanted to be married to each other, that we were in agreement with the family, the strategy we wanted to have to raise a family and put God first and all those things we wanted to do. One of those things is when we had kids, she wanted to be able to stay at home and, in my opinion, do one of the most important jobs that was ever created in America, and that was being a mom. She wanted to stay at home, and she wanted to be the best mom in the world. And the world had kind of downplayed that job as a mom, and but that was important to her. It was important to me. She would cry sometimes about thinking about having to put her little bitty baby in daycare 40 hours a week, So, and there were not a lot of home-based businesses back then. So we put out this prayer list, a request on a prayer list for her to find a job to work at home to make $1,000 a month. Back to my point, there are a lot of ways to make money, but there were not a lot of ways that made sense to us. And so we bought into and found this business through the prayer list. Somebody from another church called and said, I think I made $85,000 my first year. I think I've got something you and Lori might like to do. We'll cook you dinner. We didn't know him. It was a pastor's wife, friend of a friend. It turned out to be the best thing we ever did. But at that point in time, we were looking for addition. We wanted to add $1,000 a month to Lori's income. We didn't know anything was possible beyond that. But when I joined Lori and we really made a huge commitment, it was when we understood that we could build something bigger than we could do alone. In our 40, 50, 60 hours a week, every waking hour we had, in most businesses, there was never enough time to build the business that you wanted for your family. And there certainly wasn't any time left over for you to spend with your family if you did that. But we began to see that Jay Martin had built a business that would allow us to invest into it, and we could pour into the lives of other people, which could be part of our ministry that God called us to do. Because I felt called into the ministry almost every day. Like, when are you going to go get a job at the church? So you can get up and do God's business every day. And he clearly said, Kurt, he said, you're going to build a business where you have more influence over more people than 99% of the pastors in America do. That your life, your voice, your message, if you commit to me, you'll have a place and a platform that's bigger than any church pulpit. And I kept hearing that, and I kept hearing that. So we dove in, and we believed that we could build something that would allow us to build the life we wanted, not just create a paycheck. So this is a quote you'll all see, hear, and know. And so what I didn't want is I didn't want somebody just to write me a paycheck every day. I wanted to build a business that created a cash flow for my family. I didn't want a job that could go away, that could change, that there was somebody sitting in a cubicle next door to me that was their main goal was to be better than me and get my job and be my boss, And to me, it relates to this quote, and it's give a man a fish. You all know this. Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Give a man a paycheck, and you feed him for the week. You pay him for the week. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Equip a man to build a business, and you pay him and his family for a lifetime. So give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime. Give a man a job, and you pay him by the week. Teach a man to build a business, and you pay him for a lifetime. That's what I wanted. That's what Lori and I wanted so badly. And we began to unpack that principle and understand it more and more in our life. We didn't want that fish in a brown bag for lunch. You know, what we wanted to learn to fish. We wanted to have the resources of the ocean, not what somebody allotted to us for the day. We didn't want the paycheck for the hours we traded for a week. We wanted to be able to create the cash flow that would pay us for generations to come. And we began to see that with this business. But there was a journey that I began to understand more and more. And our pastor, or my pastor that I love so much, Charles Stanley, married us, and he taught me God's word, and he was such a great influence on my life. But as an adult, my pastor that was my running mate in life, that I just adored, and he discipled my kids, his name was Buddy Hoffman. He's no longer with us. He had an aortic aneurysm, and I've never had a pastor like that again. But one of the things he taught me is there's a people continuum. People move along a continuum, and he would teach that based on someone being like an atheist and then coming to know God and being on fire with his faith. But it applies to our business too. So the people that we talk to, instead of buying somebody a fish, if you're going to teach people to fish, it's a journey. It's not an event. Yes, you know what? It is easier to walk into a McDonald's, buy a hamburger, and hand it to a homeless person. The hard thing would be to help that homeless person get a job so he can buy his next meal. It requires an investment of your time. It requires a piece of you. Now, you'll run out of money if you keep buying that man a fish, and that's all you do. But you're making him dependent upon you. You're enabling him, and that's not what we want to do. We want to teach people to fish. So that person that's unaware that there's a way out of this, that person that's only begging for his next meal, maybe he feels ill-equipped. He feels unaware of an opportunity that could change his life. That person that gets on an airplane every week on Sunday night and leaves his family and gets back on Thursday or Friday because his job requires that much travel, creates a great paycheck. But while he's gone, he's FaceTiming. He's missing his kids, missing his family. And maybe COVID and the time that we all had to work from home and we were in isolation and we didn't travel, he began to value that time that his job never afforded. So he's unaware that there's an option. He doesn't have the money to buy a franchise. He doesn't have the money to go start his own business. He doesn't think. So he's unaware. So you give him information. We make him aware. There's a relationship and a trust that happens. And maybe that person sees that our product meets a health goal that he was unaware of, a health need in his life. You give them more information and they understand our business. And that relationship, when they become a partner that you build with them, that they know you're going to support them, not only do they become a partner, but they become a partner maker. They start cold and they become hot when you're willing to teach them how to fish. That is more difficult than buying them a hamburger or buying them a fish. But it makes a change for a lifetime versus a change for the moment, for you and for that person. Okay? So let's pretend, or not pretend, there really are two roles in this business. There's the leader, call them the sponsor. I know a lot of times in our business, the sponsor is not always the person of impact. Sometimes they're inactive. Sometimes the sponsor's on the same growth and learning curve. And there's an upline leader, mentor that's pouring into this new partner. So let whoever that leader is, it's the person that's pouring into, that's made themselves available. It said, I'm not just going to buy this person a fish. I'm not just going to buy this person a hamburger at the restaurant across the street and feed them for the moment. This person's amazing. We're going to do life together. And Jay Martin has given us a gift. Like Wendy Campbell said, she felt like she had a gift that she had to share. Jay Martin's given us a gift where he promised not only, his vision statement was that he would build a stable and lasting company that would help as many people as possible realize their dreams. That's true, but think about that for a minute, the impact of that. Jay, when he says that, you think, okay, Jay is going to build something where he himself can impact as many people as possible to realize their dreams. But that's really not the end of what he did and what he gave us. You see, there's really never been a situation out there before where you could be the franchisee and the franchisor. Usually only the person that starts the franchise has the opportunity to create more restaurants. But Jay gave us something where not only did he bless us and give us a stable and lasting business, but the nature of our business allows us to gift that to others. So we don't have to just build a business that Jay's given us and make money and buy people fish to feed them for the moment. He's given us a business that allows us to equip people to fish for a lifetime. So we're building an income for ourselves, but the nature of our business says that if you help other people, like what Zig Ziglar said, if you help other people get to the top, you're going to get there too. And so that may not be his exact quote, but you get the gist of it. And in our business, it creates an opportunity. If you pour into others, yes, it takes a piece of your skin, flesh, hide, and time, and generosity and kindness, and part of your energy and time to invest in that person to help them build something. But you're building something that where the flame doesn't go out. You're building something that lasts a lifetime. That's why I tell people, you don't need 5 sales coordinators in our business. Yes, you do to make national marketing director. But what you really need is 5 people that you help make enough money, that you help receive enough benefit, reliable, consistent income from this Juice Plus business, that if you quit, they wouldn't, and then you've got income for a lifetime. You want to help 5 people get enough significant benefit from this business that if you quit, they wouldn't. For one person, it's $500 a month. For someone else, it might be $500 an hour or $5,000 a month or anywhere in between. But you help 5 people get that kind of benefit from our business, then it's not dependent upon you. You've built a system that's going to pay your family consistent, reliable, faithful income for a lifetime. So knowing those 2 roles are there, I'm going to use a square, and there are going to be 4 phases of our business that I want to walk through that you have to go through with every new partner. And some people will stay in one phase longer than others. It depends on how the person's wired and how good of a coach and a leader you are. But they're going to go through all 4 of these phases in order for you to teach them how to fish instead of buy them a fish. And you've got to make that kind of investment, people. First of all, you have to know that brand new person, if I sponsored Rhonda today and she had, from Bon Air, Missouri, she had no idea about this business. She'd been a fitness instructor. She didn't know that fruits and vegetables were in a capsule. She didn't know Jay Martin existed. She was totally unaware, but I got her so excited. She knew that she didn't eat enough fruits and veggies. She knew that her kids didn't eat enough fruits and veggies. She knew that her husband didn't eat enough fruits and veggies. And she thought she had found Jetson food where she could push a button and get just what her family needed every day to flood their body with fruits and vegetables. And she was on fire. She had no clue what she was doing. So she was unconsciously incompetent. She was so excited that she didn't realize she didn't know what she was doing. She was ready to charge hell with a squirt gun, but she's about to get her nose bloodied. And this is when, as the leader, the partner, the person of influence, you have to kind of take charge. You almost have to be like the cop telling them what to do. If you let them just take their freedom and go get their nose bloodied, they're going to get frustrated. They have the energy, the desire, like that horse in the starting gates at the Kentucky Derby that's ready to go. But they don't know what they're doing. So they're unconsciously incompetent. So they charge it and they'll do anything. And you got to be there. You've got to give them direction. It's like the 2-year-old when there's a hot stove. They're so excited to explore the world because they can walk and stand up now that they'll go touch anything. They don't know what heat is. They don't know what a flame is. They don't know what danger is. That's why you lock the cabinets where all the poisonous chemicals are. You have to tell them what to do because they need you to do that because they don't know what they're doing, okay? So your confidence, see what you're doing in that stage of the game, you're like that relay runner. You're passing along the baton. But one of the things that is contagious, and I love to tell you about great books when I think of them, there's a book called Contagious by Jonas Berger that John Blair gave me. If you've never read it, it's called Contagious, Why Things Spread. Great book. Confidence is contagious. And Beth, you might just look up that Amazon link and stick it in here if you want to. Contagious by Jonas Berger. But your confidence is contagious. That new person, when they get their nose bloodied or they get frustrated, they're going to live off of your confidence because in the beginning you know what to do. You're telling them what to do. You're not letting them go out and just wander. You've given them a plan. There's, what do you do your first 10 days to get your express track? 30 days, 90 days. If you want the most money, the most benefit, or it's 30 days, 60 days, 6 months if you want to take the slower route. But you're giving them that direction. So your confidence, your belief they're going to live off of that until they have their own, okay? So, but competence is not competence. Competence is learned, it's obtained, it's gathered over time. But while they're gathering that's the beauty of our business, is that new person, if we go back and we're talking about Rhonda, she's so excited, she's so new, she can latch on to my competence while she's gaining competence, okay? And I'm going to tell her where, what the what competence looks like. I'm going to teach her. She's going to learn that. But here's really the sad part. And this is where you're going to lose most people in your business. Do you have people? How many of you have people that you get in the business, you get them to Partner Plus, they got the special, the $10, they get the free samples, and you can get them to Partner Plus, but they seem to fall off the cliff. Anybody ever had somebody that you couldn't get to move to the next level? After you got them in the front door, they were excited, but then you couldn't get them on track. Part of this is, look at these questions here. Can I really do this? If you ever ask yourself when you were had a frustrating day, can I really do this? Is this the right vehicle for me? Did I choose the right thing? I mean, I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to. This is not me. I mean, it's got to be me. It's not you. Something's wrong with me. I can't do this. Or maybe you go out and you get too many no's in a row. Maybe your mom or a family member. That happens a lot because sometimes family members they can be the most difficult, or they can be the easiest. Like my first customer was my mom, and that was easy. But I've heard some people say that their family members are the toughest. So it all depends on, what relationships are like and how you go about it. Sometimes you can try and cram something down their throat just because their family buy this and they push back. But you may be thinking when that happens and you get rejection from somebody you think that would buy anything from you because you love them and they love you, all of a sudden, I look at this. I could never do anything like this. Nobody wants this. And almost everybody that gets in this business goes through a version of those 4 or 5 or 6 or more questions coming to their mind. Some have already got enough belief in the product and the company and belief in you that they slide through that. But most people need you more. You're the leader, the sponsor, or You may not be the sponsor, but you're the leader this person's counting on because you've agreed to invest in them. You've run the relay before them, so y'all both have your hands on the baton. And right now, they need you more than ever. So the new partners in our business that don't have someone available when they're about to jump off the cliff, when they're asking those questions, if that partner doesn't have somebody available to be there, this is when they quit. This is when they get frustrated because the cliff comes for everyone. It's not if, it's when. And it's how severe is it. And it's not very severe when you've got somebody right there when you're living off their confidence. When you're not confident, you say, you know what? This is fine. This is what three-way phone calls are for. If you'll let me work with you and let me be the mouthpiece while you're learning instead of you saying things you don't even know what you're talking about, you can introduce me, be the matchmaker. If you'll hear me do it 10 times, I'm still here to help you, but you'll probably never need me again. But they are asking those questions, and sometimes they don't respond to you. Sometimes they jump off the cliff and they go into their little pit and they throw a pity party. They get down in their pit and they cry and they whine, I can't do this. They have this total, hissy fit pity party that you can't, they ghost you or whatever. And here's the deal. As a leader, as the person helping this person, they're going to cry. They're going to be upset. They're going to be in that pity party mode, and they're going to want you to come down in the pit and console them. That is not what leaders do. You realize this is going to happen. I'm telling you, it happens to everybody. And the leader doesn't get in the pit. They put a rope or a ladder down there and help them get out. But you don't go down there and indulge them and have a pity party with them. That's not what you do. And everybody, I'm not talking about some of you are going to experience this. I'm talking about each and every one of you is going to have partners that are going to make you wish you had a doctorate degree in psychotherapy. They're going to call you and you're going to have to play therapist and love them and hug them. But don't stay in that mode. You need to give them the ladder or the rope to get out because they're going to live and ride on your back and your confidence while they're not believing in the moment. That's phase 2. Everybody goes through it. Some go through it quickly. Some go through it slowly. And some, it's the place they quit. Okay? So that phase, you are the coach. You're not as directive. You're not like bossing them around, telling them what to do. But you are what they're riding on your back. They're leaning on you. This is where that person, and you can now you when I say these words, you're going to understand why they had a pity party. They are conscious. They are aware. They're conscious of their incompetence. They all of a sudden realize they're in a business. They've never done anything like this before. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know where the right videos are. They don't know how to use boards. They can't figure out how to log into their virtual office. All they're doing is just talking about fruits and veggies and can't answer questions. They're excited, but they realize, I have no idea. I don't know what I'm doing. They're consciously incompetent. So the partners that are navigating that cliff, they're experiencing failure, incompetence. They're vulnerable. They're alone. And the cliche, the quote there's going to be, I made the wrong decision. I made the wrong choice. I should have never done this. Everybody has those thoughts when they have a bad day. And if they've never been in sales, they've never needed to have conversations with people on a day in, day out basis, and they feel pressure. Maybe they get in this business where they've got to make some money immediately. They need it. The inflation, whatever, has just impacted them incredibly. And instead of doing it the right way, talking to more people and having positive conversations, they have high pressure conversations. They don't know what they're doing. And they try to propose on the first date. They're trying to close people instead of build a relationship and share something that's important. And you got to be there with them to make sure they don't do that. And partners need a coach, and that coach is you. You have to realize you have to be willing to play this role, or you're not going to be very successful in this business. And there's upline that will help you learn how to play this role, but you cannot get in this business and earn more than a little bit of part-time income from a customer base if you're not willing to pour into the lives of the team you're trying to build. Okay? All right. So we're going to lead through that cliff experience. And you do that, the leader has to offer grace. You're bringing your experience to the table. And a lot of times it says, you know what? I dealt with this too. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. Some of the first phone calls I made, I didn't know what I was doing. And when I reverted to using what they told me from day one is get your upline on the phone, make three-way phone calls, and learn while you build this business. Don't go try and watch 20 videos or 30 Zoom calls and feel like you're going to be competent and totally ready to do this business once you've watched all those videos. They'll help, no doubt. But why would you want to go through hours and weeks and days of watching all those videos when if you just took advantage of your upline, your upline support system, and got all those people you wanted to talk to on a three-way phone call, they're going to work with that new person, tell them about our product, our business, share their experience, share their story, and they're going to build your business. And while you listen to them, you're learning. Why not start building your business today with three-way phone calls and learn while you build instead of setting this date in the future? When I watch all these videos, there's 72 videos on YouTube and there's 12 Zoom calls that I need to watch, and then I'll be ready. No. Start doing three-way phone calls today, and you do 10, and you won't ever need anybody to do it with you anymore. Totally makes sense. So what's the quote here? As the leader, here's what that person needs to hear you say. I've got you. I'm your safety net. I've got you. It's the mama eagle pushing the baby out of the nest. They're going to fall. She's going to catch them the first time when they're not ready to fly. She's there as a safety net. I've got you. You got this. We're going to build something amazing. You just need to learn how to do it. And I know, and we're going to do this together. Okay? Now, phase 3 is where it really gets good. This is when you know you've transferred your confidence, your belief into the new person. They know you're there with them. And so they're not totally independent and operating on their own. But here's the cool thing. This is where your role as a leader with this person, it's relational. It's so fun. It's the reason you got in this business, to have a life-on-life fun relationship with these people. And it's when that person is conscious that they don't know what they're doing, and that's when they're so teachable, and they turn to you. They want to learn, they want to know, they want to grow, because your confidence has made them believe they can do it, but they know they're insufficient in what they need to know. But they also know, because you were so available to them in that place where they were about to jump off the cliff, that you're going to teach them, and they're going to become teachable because they know you're available and they don't feel alone. So this is the phase where they do it. You're not doing it for them. They're not riding piggyback. They've got your confidence. They believe they can do it now, but they believe that because they know you're there with them. So the message is, okay, you do this, and I'm right here to help you. You go do this. Let's go do a sourdough party, but I'll be in your kitchen with you, and we'll do it together. You plan it, you invite, you do it. You know, schedule a three-way phone call. Beth just put in a link. I mean, we try our best to make ourselves available and a resource for you. You can actually go on my website, get to my calendar, and if you've got somebody that you want me to pour into and help you while you learn, you can schedule a three-way phone call. Thanks, Beth, for putting that in there. So you got three-way phone calls. You do, I help. What does that look like? Three-way calls. Doing events together, getting them scheduled, getting them on the calendar. You know, one of the biggest things as a new person, and I wish we had a little bit better system, but there's no master calendar that you can just click on and see every event going on in the nation. It'd be so busy and so full, it probably wouldn't work anyway. But even in your area, but there are events that your new person, they need to know what events are possible. What can they plug into? That's part of the managing your month strategy, knowing what events are going on this month, using your memory jog or your list to get people to those events. Accountability. Now that your partner has to be willing to be held accountable. But we have people that never done anything like this before. They want to do it so bad. You know, we say, okay, you're failing. Why are you failing? Here's what you need to do. Do you really want to make sure you do this? Okay, so we've had people that every day at 4 o'clock, they called us and told us what they did that day. They had to check in. It's like getting on the scales at Weight Watchers. You know, somebody's going to see what it looks like, and you're going to prepare and do better, and do what you were told to do, because you know you got to get on the scales. You got to make that phone call at 4 o'clock every day. Okay. How else do you help? There's community. You're available. All the things we talked about. Okay. And this kind of fulfills the fourth phase. Look at these again. In the beginning, I'm going to do this and you watch. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to model it. You're going to jump. You're going to watch me do it. I'm going to teach you and tell you what to do. You just watch. Phase 2 is you still have to do this, because that's when they think they can't do it. So you're going to do it, but they're going to help you. They're going to be riding piggyback. They might be carrying your backpack, but they're still on your back. So that's where you're doing it and they're helping. Phase 3, we just went over that. I help and you do. The partner is doing it, but I'm helping you. And then the glorious place that you want to get to is I'm watching you do this, and I'm so proud of you. I'm excited that you have risen to be a leader on your own, and I'm going to be with you. We're going to do this together, but you don't need me anymore. You're a leader of leaders already. So that's how the 4 phases kind of play out. But in this last phase, your role is best described as being a mentor. You're not, I almost would change that first one, directive, like you're a cop, you're a coach, you're a consultant, then you're a mentor, you know? So, but this phase, you're unconsciously competent. This is like you can do it in your sleep. My best analogy is, I'm a math brain. My kids would come home and ask me to help them with their math. I'd look at it and I'd write the answer. At that point, I was so good at math, and it was so easy for me, I was no longer a good teacher. When you're unconsciously competent about something, you do it in your sleep. It's hard for you to teach because you do it without thinking. And it's so easy in our business to get into that phase. Some people, when they get to that phase, they also get in management mode before they want to manage before they have enough team to manage. But you have to go back into that relationship. You have to go backwards into phase 3 in order to teach. You can be confident enough, and your skill level and your mastery of this business can be unconsciously competent. But if you want to teach others, you have to go back into that relational phase where they're conscious of their competence and they're teachable and they're ready to learn. So you have to go back there and live in that place with them. So you got some choices to make. You go into the bait shop, like we talked in the beginning, and you can buy some stuff for you to go fishing, catch a fish, and give it out to all the people that are hungry. Or, and that would be, you in our business, that would be the equivalent. That would be the equivalent of you saying, well, this is the same picture. That bait shop is what your choice is. Are you going to use that and equip others, or are you just going to equip yourself? And in our business, you want to fish. You're going to go build a customer base, and you're going to stop. You're going to go out, sell the product, and feed your family for the moment. And you're going to trade hours for dollars. And if all you want to make's a little bit of extra money, you know what? Or maybe you just want to pay for your product. That's great. Go catch a few fish and pay for your product. But are you telling me that you want 2 fish, but you're running your business like you want a fish? Are you out there recruiting and building your team, making yourself vulnerable, making yourself available, and teaching others how to fish? Or are you just wanting to help them and buy a fish? Are you buying them a hamburger? Or are you teaching them how to get a job, teaching them how to create faithful, consistent, reliable income? That's the question you have to ask yourself. And it's all about trading time for money. You know, there's not really a money tree that exists. But Trey Bowden and I, we were trying to figure out something to represent how time is so important that we need to use some time today to invest in the lives of others so that we've taught an army and a generation of people how to fish versus us doing all the fishing. And in our business, that begins our performance bonus and the overrides we get on the army that we build. The overrides and bonuses that we get paid because we've helped other people build a stable and lasting business that helps them realize their dreams. You were afforded that opportunity from Jay. Have you passed that along? Are you paying it forward? When you pay that forward, that's when you create that consistent, reliable, faithful income. And that virtual money tree, because you've helped 5 people get enough from this business that if you quit, they wouldn't. It's not a money tree. But in my mind, it's creating a cash flow for you that's not dependent upon you trading hours for dollars. And I'll close with this one thought before I just give you a few announcements. And that one thought is, and some of you have heard this before, but this became reality to me when I was with one of the wealthiest doctors that I knew that had houses and cars and a horse ranch, country club memberships, a place at the beach. I mean, I didn't know of anything else he could buy that he didn't have, honestly. And he was so excited about this business. He was doing bariatric surgery. He was a GI, and he knew that his patients after this surgery needed the nutrition that they couldn't get because their system wasn't ready to eat normal food again. So he fell in love with Juice Plus. He rented a booth at a medical conference in New Orleans, and I was really confused a little bit. Why was this guy, who in my mind had all the riches of the world, why was he spending time with me in New Orleans at a booth at a medical show? And we were sitting in a car in traffic one night, and I said, Jim, why are you doing this business? You don't need the money. I mean, you don't even have time to drive the cars, ride the horses, or, take a trip to the beach or play golf with money, stuff you already have. Why are you here instead of being at the beach or whatever? He says, Kurt, I've made a lot of money, and I have a lot of toys. I have a lot of things. But he said, you don't understand. And I said, obviously. I was thinking in my mind, well, obviously I don't. And he said, do you see that taxi across the street over there? We were sitting in a rental car we had rented in downtown New Orleans, lots of traffic, Canal Street or wherever we were. And he said, do you see that taxi over there? And I said, yeah. He said, you see the light on the dashboard? I said, do you mean the meter? And he said, yes. He said, that's me. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, that meter only runs when that taxi driver's hands are on the steering wheel. When they're on the steering wheel, holding it, driving the car, the meter's running. It's just like me. He said, when I'm doing a procedure, diagnosing, doing surgery, treating a patient, he said, I'm making money. My meter's running. He said, when I'm not doing those things, when I want to do the things I want to do, my income stops. It is 100% dependent upon me trading hours for dollars. I don't think he used those words back then. And he said, I need to figure out a way to make money when I'm not the one investing all my time to create it. And that's when I really understood the value of this business. And it's not just what I can make by going out and retailing Juice Plus to one person today. It's about the army that I can build to help that army build a stable and lasting business that will help them realize their dreams. But when I do that, I've created consistent, reliable, faithful income for my family forever. And that's what this business is all about. That's the choice you make when you decide whether you're going to build a business based on addition, adding a customer, or you're going to wake up every day knowing that you've got to go find those 5 amazing leaders that you're going to help build an income from this business that if you quit, they wouldn't. And you're going to go Every day, your mindset's going to be to go find those 5 until you find them. And you're going to say, Kurt, what about building a customer base? I need to wake up and go find customers. You don't understand. If you wake up to go find those 5 amazing people, guess what? You can't explain our business without explaining our amazing product. And everybody's not going to get in the business. So if you wake up on a mission to find those 5 every day, you're going to get a ton of customers. And you're going to eventually find those 5 people. If you wake up wanting to add a customer to your business, add a customer, and that's all you think about, you may never have one partner on your team. You can build a great part-time income from your customer base, but you're never going to build that consistent, faithful, reliable income for your family for generations to come. Get our leadership benefits, our expense allowance, the amazing insurance we have, tuition reimbursement for your family. All those things are not going to happen until you find your 5. And that's what you really want to do. Now, there's some things going on right now that I want to mention to you. Between now and the end of the summer, it's only $10 to sign up. Why would anybody not partner with our company if it's only $10? And if you do that and order your product and somebody else in your family and your kids get on it, maybe you add Luminate or grandma buys the product. As long as you get 900 points, you're going to get $290 back that month from your rewards and profits. Plus, you're going to get $100 of free samples. I mean, I would say something like, this is what all my intelligent friends do, because it's true. I believe all my intelligent friends take Juice Plus. But for sure, right now, all my intelligent friends, everybody I know that can use a calculator and understands 1 + 1 = 2, they're going to spend $10 and get their family on Juice Plus through this pathway that our company's created right now. If you don't know about this, ask your upline. It's on boards under What's New. It's on the hub, and you can find it. But $10 to be a partner right now, and you get $190 back in cash, and you get $100 of free samples. So it's kind of a no-brainer. A couple things we do, and I believe that you've got to bite your time off in chunks and maximize. I mean, make one statement. If somebody asks me why some people succeed in our business and others don't, that's a universal question in any business to me. And the successful people know how to manage their time. And they manage it well. And that's really prioritizing their time. But one of the things I like to do to try and help you, Beth and Trey and I, we try and have a concise, every Monday morning, a message that just helps you kick off your week. You got to plan your week. You got to set goals for the month. You got to plan your week, and then you activate your task on a daily basis. So this is a Monday morning call. It's not going to be like the political campaigns that drive you absolutely nuts. I want to get a new phone number just because I get so many stupid political text messages now. But text "wake up" to that number, and you'll get one message a week, and you can stop whenever you want to. But we think that's a good way to remind you to kick your week off. Blue Ridge Boot Camp's coming up. It's going to be awesome. I just talked to Shay O'Brien. He's a stockholder, one of the owners in the Juice Plus company. He's from England. He's a great guy. He's 6'8". I always look up to him, literally. But I do look up to him, even if he was shorter than me. He's amazing. But we have like the best speakers we've ever had in our lineup, and it's going to be a great weekend. There's either a few spots left, or Beth has already got the waiting list going. I know she put the link in here earlier, BlueRidgeBootCamp.com. I don't know. We have limited seats left, but there's a few seats left, I think, until we've got to turn in head counts and food and all that kind of stuff. So even if we have a few spots left, I think at the end of this week, we've got to shut it down. So if you want to get in, you want to come, you need to go ahead and do that. And then make sure you got Phoenix on your calendar. We're going to have a big, huge time. You're going to see something you've been longing for. If you've been in the business for a while, you're going to see this is going to be the digital transformation of the Juice Plus company. We have Bill Baker, our new Chief Technology Officer, and we have tried to be a computer company for the last 10 years. I'm just going to be honest with you. We've had technology leadership in our company that really responded to Jay, and Jay said, Well, let's just build what we want. We want to we want to have our data this way and this that way. So instead of realizing that we're in the fruit and vegetable business and we're in the people business, we kind of tried to be in the computer business too and write our own code and build our own system. But we realized that we're not in the computer business. We're not the best at technology. We're the best at fruits and vegetables and pouring into people's lives and relationships and life-on-life changes and helping people build an income. And Bill Baker, our new Chief Technology Officer, he has partnered with Shopify, the second largest retail merchant transaction company in the world. And there will be a digital transformation of Juice Plus that you're going to see hands-on in September. And I think we're going to leave that realizing that technology is one of our biggest assets instead of a liability because we're behind. And I'm so excited about that digital transformation taking place. And that's going to be the platform. We got two amazing speakers, keynote speakers, plus a lot of training. But you want to be in Phoenix September 12th through 14th. It's going to be great. And then this is something that these are snippets, but there's 7 videos there, I think, or 6 or 7, where why is now the time to join the Juice Plus company? Why is now the time to focus on recruiting? Why is now the time to focus on finding those 5 people instead of just your next customer? There's a whole set of videos there that we've made that I think will help you if you've got, maybe you can't get a 3-way phone call, but you want to text, Facebook message, Vox, or send somebody a video because they've got a question or a doubt or they need reinforcement. I think those videos will help you. This is our calendar coming up for coaching calls. June 19th is where we are right now, special training. We'll have our Finish June Strong call on the 26th. Our Start July call is going to be on Tuesday, July the 2nd, because we've got the 4th of July holiday that week. So we didn't want to do it on Wednesday, right there the day before. So that's going to be on July the 2nd. And then our July Finish Strong calls the 24th. We will not have a special training in July just due to travel and holiday stuff and lots of events going on. And don't forget, every Tuesday and Thursday, we have a new rhythm. Tuesdays is product. A focus on the product with an opportunity to share that opens the door for our business. And then on Thursdays, it's business first with an amazing product. So both of them present both. Every Tuesday is product focused. Every Thursday is business centric. Lori and I joined the business because we needed to make money, and we found out about the product. There's so many people that find out about the product because of their health and then join the business. There's 2 doors to go through, guys. And there are people in your life right now that health's the biggest crisis they're having, but there are also people in your life right now, especially because of the leadership in our country the last 3 years, and our economy and inflation and things that are going on. There are people in your life that you know right now that their financial need is greater than their health need, and they need to go through that business door if you're going to get their attention. So we got both going on for you, product and business, every Tuesday and Thursday. And Rhonda's on here. Rhonda and I are doing a call in July, but the July calendar will be up soon. So all these events, we have a kind of a master calendar for us at makealife.com/calendar. Thank you for being on here today. I think we covered something that'll be a timeless principle and a value for you and your family in the future. And if you put these principles to practice, you will succeed in this business. But you have to invest in the lives of the people that you want to be successful in this business. Most of them join this business to do it with you. They don't join it for you to tell them what to do. They join this business for you to do it with them. They want to do it with you, not for you. And if you take that approach and you invest in those people, you'll have a business that will change your family's life forever. Okay? Be blessed. Have a great day, and I'll see some of you at the Buckeye Boot Camp this weekend.